Veterans, are some of you still having trouble with your VA claim? In today's video, I'm going to give you a VA claim winning strategy that will help breathe life into your claim. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that Kimball, United States Army veteran, retired VA rating specialist, and your VA claim nugget man. Before I get into today's video, make sure you go ahead and do me a huge favor. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. Also, don't forget to click the link in the description section and pick up my new book, The VA Compensation Blueprint. It's time to win. I'm leveling the playing field, okay? Now, today's video. If you've went through the process maybe once or twice, or you're just starting out and you're nervous about, hey, how do I win? What is a winning strategy? The winning strategy is to understand the questions and the answers to the test, all right? So whatever question that you have about the VA claims process, guess what the VA does? They put it on their website, but it's a lot of information. So in my first book, VA Claim Success, in my second book, the VA Compensation Blueprint, and even the software that I created, VA Benefits Navigator, we are providing you the answers to the test, which is the winning strategy, okay? So I'm going to give you a strategy that you can use. This strategy is either updating or changing your mindset as it pertains to the VA compensation process. Okay. If someone that thinks that, hey, the VA, they're out trying to screw everybody, screw them, I'm not going to deal with it. Hey, that's totally up to you. Okay. But if you're someone that's willing to dig in your heels, grind it out, and win, this video is for you. All right. So the first thing you want to do, request an intent to file. Easiest way to do that is 800-827-1000. 800-827-1000. When you call them, you let them know, hey, I want to do an intent to file for compensation. Now, you want to do this before the end of the month. So when you get service connected, all right, that effective date will be that month. So it doesn't matter. Let's say you call December 1st or December 31st. As long as it's on the day that the call center is open, you get service connected, you're going to get paid for that month. All right. Now, regardless of who you work with, if you work with a veteran service officer or organization, claims agent, attorney, or another consulting company, this is going to benefit you. Okay. It's going to benefit you, and it could help you get an increase in your back pay. All right. Another thing with this, when you call the 800 number, if you are already service connected, this is a nugget, people. If you're already service connected, you want to ask them for what is known as a disability breakdown letter to include the diagnostic codes. I'm going to say it again. A disability breakdown letter to include the diagnostic codes. You're only going to have this if you are service connected. Request that they email it to you. If they don't want to email it to you, just hang up, call back, get someone else. All right. And I talk about this in both of my books. All right. Number 2, figure out what conditions you want to claim. In my first book, you can find this diagram on page 13. Okay. Are you claiming PTSD? Do you want to claim a back condition, migraines, bilateral ankle pain with strain? Figure out what conditions you want to claim. Okay. You have to do that. All right. Number 3, figure out where do these conditions fall under the different ways of service connection. So again, in my first book, VA Claim Success, you'll see a diagram that I have on page 13. On the right-hand side, there's a list of conditions. Okay. On the left, there's the different ways of service connection: pre-service aggravation, direct service connection, secondary service connection, an increase in you're already service-connected conditions, and then you have presumptives. You got 1 year, 3 year, 7 year, Gulf War undiagnosed illness, Agent Orange, both of those. Also, the PACT Act falls under both of those. And then you have Camp Lejeune contaminated water. Also, if you're trying to file an 1151 claim, okay? So once you determine what conditions you're claiming, where do they fall under the different ways of service connection? Here's another nugget, people. The medical evidence that you have should support that. I'm going to say it again. The medical evidence that you have, if you have any, should support that, to include a current diagnosis. All right. Now, number 4, lay statement. This is where the VSR or RVSR determines if you want a CMP exam based on the evidence that you submit and how you're claiming it under the different ways of service connection. For example, if you're claiming migraines as direct service connection, what do you need? Current diagnosis, a link, and a nexus. So you have your current diagnosis, you have the link in service, meaning you were treated, diagnosed, complained, or injury or disease as it pertains to migraines that's documented in your military records. Or you could be claiming it secondary to an already service-connected condition. Okay. So once they determine that, that's going to help you get to that CMP exam. Lay statements. Keep it simple, people. Stop writing 5 or 6 pages of a lay statement for one condition. You're going to confuse the VA employee. Okay. I've seen this as a former VA rater. Okay. This is what gets you to the CMP exam. This lay statement, along with your evidence. VSRs and raters are not medical or mental health professionals. Okay. They're not there to diagnose you with anything. Okay. They're there to look at the evidence and make a decision. Where does your claim go from there? Okay. So when you understand this process and you're like, okay, I get it. I'm claiming this condition. I'm claiming it that way. Here are some symptoms and here's some evidence. You can put that in 3 or 4 sentences. The VA Benefits Navigator software, myself and a fellow veteran created. You build your own educational packet. And part of that is you build your own lay statement based off of the condition you're claiming, the different way, one of the different ways you can obtain service connection under the VA. Okay. And it includes the percentage for the criteria. The percentage for the condition that you are claiming, whether it be 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, or whatever. Okay. Now, once you've done all this, got your evidence, you figured out what you're claiming, how you're claiming it, you got your evidence, you built your lay statement. Now it's time to submit your claim. Number 6, submit your claim. You have to submit a prescribed claim form, whether it be a VA Form 21-526EZ. If you're doing a supplemental claim, you're doing a VA Form 20-0995. If you're doing a high-level review, it's a VA Form 20-0996. Okay. So understand what these prescribed claim forms are, because if you submit the wrong one, guess what? They're going to see your correspondence and they're going to let you know, hey, you submitted the incorrect claim form. We've attached the form that you actually need. Guess what happens? You go to the end of the line. Okay. Now, number 7, when you submit your claim, quickest way, use the quick submit option. I have a video on this. Okay. And in this video, I'm showing you how to use this VA site to upload all your evidence. Okay. Now, if your VSO, claims agent, or attorney do it on your behalf, totally fine. Make sure they give you a copy, because now you want to start building that claims folder. Okay. Because, we all know when you request it from the VA, it's going to take some time. All right. So number 8, understand the percentage criteria for each condition you claimed and where it's located in the DBQ. Okay. That's very important. Here's why, people. When you get to that CMP exam, you're going to have to know how to reasonably articulate you're going to have to you're going to have to know how to reasonably articulate your symptomology for that particular condition. And if the CMP examiner grants or provides you with a positive medical opinion, then that's going to determine, based on the criteria that you explain, whether you get 0, 10, 20, 30, 40%. Let's use migraines, for example. If you feel your evidence shows you meet the 30% criteria, your lay statement should match that with your evidence. Guess what you're talking about at the CMP exam? You're talking about the 30%, not the 0 or 10%, because that's how you can get lowball. Guess what, people? I did a video on how not to get lowball with the VA as it pertains to the VA compensation claims process. All right, let's keep going. Number 9, review the notification letter and rating decision. When you get that packet, it's going to be 2 separate documents in there. In my first book, VA Claim Success, I give you an example of what the first page of each one of these documents look like. So let's say you claim 5 different things. You get service connected for all of them. They grant you 100% permanent total status, chapter 35. Congrats, you did it. But just because you received 100% permanent total, and let's say they gave you $30,000 in back pay, that doesn't mean you shouldn't read these documents. Here's why. Let's say they got the effective date wrong for one of those. You could be leaving thousands of dollars on the table because you can appeal that effective date if it's incorrect. Let's say they assigned the incorrect percentage. Okay, same thing. You can appeal that and you could possibly get more back pay, but it's going to depend on if they go back at that particular time in the past, did it affect your overall percentage? Did it change? If it did, then you're going to get an additional back pay. So just because they granted you benefits and you reached that 100% or whatever percentage, make sure you still read both these letters to ensure they got it right. All right. So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.